Hey there, it's Colleen. Several people over the past few years have asked me about what do I do with gallbladder issues. I have never worked on gallbladder issues, but I'm going to make a video because I promised you eventually I would. And this is how I would address gallbladder issues. First, get a really good mind, body, wisdom book like this one by Deb Shapiro, Your Body Speaks Your Mind. It's my go-to book. A lot of my clients are using it now. It is great. Even people who don't like this kind of stuff that much have read this book and said, you know, this pretty much makes a lot of sense. So she talks about gallbladders and the bile. And I'll just say that she says here, bile produced in the liver is stored in the gallbladder. Bile is a bitter green liquid that breaks down the fats for easier digestion. And a lack of bile means that digestion takes longer and you feel queasy, indicating an inability to break down or assimilate incomplete information or a feeling of being unable to cope. Well, a lot of that going on these days, right? Even in my life. Gall, as a characteristic, means assertiveness, bitterness, spite, or malice. Bilious attacks imply an attack of bitterness or anger rising up from inside. So Deb Shapiro says, ask yourself these questions. What is making you feel so bitter and bad-tempered? What is so emotionally hard to digest or assimilate? So ask yourself those questions and find out. Always remember to think about around the time you found out or suspected you had gallbladder issues. What was going on in your life that was so stressful, so difficult? You couldn't assimilate it. You couldn't digest it. Maybe you felt like you were being forced into things by other people. It's happened to me. Then she also talks about gallstones, which are terrible to have. They occur when the bile congeals, formulating small, hard lumps. And passing out of your body, it can be very painful. The stones are made from congealed liquid and they correspond to congealed or unexpressed emotion. It's true. I found that emotional distress is at the core of many illnesses. And once you get rid of it, it opens the doors for all the work that your doctors might have done for you. Opens the doors to healing. It could be the final step. That's why this stuff is so important to learn and to know, or at least have a good reference book and you know how to get rid of those emotions. So it says here, these stones take time to form, so they usually represent resentment that is building up for a long time. Gallstones indicate the need to soften and ease the bitterness, to realize that it's okay to say no to others and to say yes to your own needs. You do not need to get resentful in order to get what you want. But that's sort of a natural reaction at times, right? So here's what I would do. If any of this stuff rings true to you, then just start clearing it. As I've shown you many times, you can use any modality you want to clear it. I like to use the quickest one, which is tapping under here, the acupressure points of the governing vessel meridian, or going like this, or even the crumbling motion, which is so much fun to do as you talk about releasing it. I'm focusing now with love and gratitude on my gallbladder, and I am releasing all my fears and resentment and anger and bitterness and hatred. And if I have gallstones, I release this resentment that has built up into these little stones that are now very painful and difficult, making my life difficult, making me unwell. I release my fear of not being safe from everything that was so difficult to digest in my life. I release my fear the bad times are never going to end, that this terrible part of my life will never end. I release my fears of failure to get rid of this condition. I release my fears of being rejected and abandoned by others when I set my boundaries that they want to trample all over. But allowing them to attack me or to trample on my boundaries has caused this gallbladder condition or these gallstones. I choose to release it now. I also choose to release any of my fears I have of successfully getting rid of this gallbladder condition, that there could be something even worse coming down the line after this is healed. You know, a lot of people have that fear. And that's why they hold on to conditions or situations, because at least I know this. Once I get rid of it, something worse could happen. As if holding on to a terrible situation or a physical condition or mental condition will stop any other bad things from coming. Trust me, it doesn't. I ought to know. And I don't mean for my clients, I mean for me. So that's how I would get rid of this gallbladder stuff. When you can identify what was happening when the gallbladder started acting up and what was the stress or the fears that you had, and get rid of it by simple energy work, releasing it, and then you can think back on that time and think, I don't care about that anymore. Whereas before you started working on yourself, you were just like, oh, I can't believe they did that to me. You'll be at level 0, which is where you want to be to open up the gallbladder to heal, and you can put in some affirmations. I now instill complete and total well-being in my gallbladder. If there are any gallstones that have formed or are forming, I now choose to allow my spirit doctors to gently break these up or dissolve these now. I am well. My gallbladder is well. The gallstones are disappearing. Every day in every way, I am experiencing ever increasing wellness and well-being, especially in my gallbladder, and so it is. Hey, that's how simple it is. That's all you got to do. That's how I stay healthy as an old fart. You can too, no matter what your age is. So thank you so much for watching this far. Take care of your sweet, precious self. So many people love you. Probably you don't even realize it, right? Anyway, peace out. Namaste. When you learn to dowse, the universal wisdom is yours for the asking. Please check out my book, Fearless Accurate Dowsing, and any of my self-healing books, all available and very affordable on Amazon. Thank you.